Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read 2 Chronicles 1:6, Proverbs 29, and Psalm 3. Let's get started. Solomon, the son of David, established himself in his kingdom, and the Lord his God was with him, and made him extremely great. Solomon spake to all Israel, to all the commanders of thousands and hundreds, to the judges, and to all the leaders in all Israel, and to Pharaoh's houses. And Solomon and all the assembly with him went to the high place that was at Gibeon, tent of meeting of God, which Moses said of the Lord had made in the wilderness was there. Moreover, the bronze altar that Bezalel son of Uri son of Hur had made was there before the tabernacle of the Lord. And Solomon and the assembly saw it out. And Solomon went up there to the bronze altar of the Lord, which was at the tent meeting, and offered 1,000 burnt offerings on it. And that night God appeared to Solomon and said, Ask what I shall give you. And Solomon said, You have shown great and steadfast love to David my father, and have made me king in his place. And Lord God, let your word be David my father be now fulfilled. As you have made me a king over a people as numerous as the dust of the earth. Give me now wisdom and knowledge to go out and come in before this people. For who can govern this people of yours, which is so great? God answers Solomon, because this was in your heart, and you have not asked for possessions, wealth, honor, or the life of those who hate you. You have asked for a long life. I have asked for wisdom and knowledge for yourself, that you may govern my people over whom I have made you king, wisdom, knowledge, and I will grant you. I also will give you riches, resistance, and honor, such as none of the kings who are before you. And after you shall have the life. So Solomon came from the high place at Gibeon, before the tent meeting, out to Jerusalem, and he reigned over Israel. Solomon gathered together chariots and horses. He had 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horses, whom he stationed in the chariot cities with the king in Jerusalem. And the king made silver and gold as common in Jerusalem as stone, and he made stone as plentiful as the sycamore, as the shaffer. And following the example of horses was on Egypt and Q, and the king's traders would buy them from Q at a price. They imported a chariot from Egypt for 600 shekels of silver, and a horse for 150. Likewise, they were exported to all the kings of Tyre and the kings of Syria. Now Solomon purposed to build a temple for the name of the Lord, and a royal palace for himself. And Solomon decided 70,000 men to bear burdens and 80,000 to quarry in the hill country. And Solomon decided 70,000 men to bear burdens and 80,000 to quarry in the hill country, and 3,600 to oversee them. And Solomon sent word to Hiram the king of Tyre, and he dealt with David my father, and sent him to build himself a house to God. So deal with me. Behold, I am about to build a house for the name of the Lord my God, and dedicate it to him. Behold, and to him for the burning of the incense and sweet spices before, and for the regular arrangement of the burning of incense and sweet spices. Regular arrangement of the shrine, and for burnt offerings morning and evening, and on the Sabbath, and the new moons and the appointed feast of the Lord our God, and so days forever for it. The house that I am to build will be great, for our God is greater than all gods. And who is able to build him a house, since heaven, even highest heaven, cannot contain it? Who am I to build a house for, except as a place to make offerings for him? So now send me a man skilled to work in gold, silver, and bronze, and iron, and in purple, crimson, and blue fabrics, strange, ocean, and engraving. So you, the skilled workers, shall work with me in Judah and Jerusalem, whom David my father provided. Send me your society, Sarah, cypress, and algum timber from the bed. For I know that your servants know how to cut timber in the bed, and my servants will be with your servants to prepare timber for me in abundance. For the house that I am to build will be great and wonderful. I will give for the son of the woodsman of who cut timber 20,000 cords of crushed wheat, 20,000 cords of barley, 20,000 baths of wine, and 20,000 baths of oil. And Hiram the king of Tyre answered in a letter that he sent to Solomon, because the Lord loves his people, he has made a king over Heber. Here is the saying, Blessed be the Lord of God of Israel, who made heaven and earth, who has given King David all wisdom, who is gracious and understanding, who will build a temple of the Lord and a royal palace for himself. And the eyes of a skilled man who is understanding. Hiram Abi, the son of a woman of Israel, was a day, and his father was a man of Tyre. He was trained to work in gold, silver, bronze, iron, stone, and wood, and in purple, blue, and crimson fabrics of fine linen, and stood all sorts of engraving and execute any design that may be assigned with him, and with your craftsmen, and the craftsmen of my lord David your father, and therefore the wheat and barley, oil and wine, of which my lord spoken. Then I said to his servants, I will cut oil over to my wheat you need from the land, and bring it to you in bars by sea to Joppa, so that you may take it up to Jerusalem. And Solomon counted all the resident aliens who in the land is after the census of them that David his father had taken. And there found 153,670. Thousands of them he assigned to their bands, 80,000 to quarry in the hill country, and 76,000 as overseas to make the people work. And Solomon began to build the house of the Lord in Jerusalem on Mount Moriah, where the Lord had appeared to David his father, at the place that David had appointed. On the 34th of Ornan of Jerusalem, he began to build in the second month of the 4th year of his reign. And these are Solomon's measurements for building the house of the Lord. The length in cubits of the old standard was 60 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits. The vestibule in front of the nave of the house was 20 cubits long, equal to the width of the house, and its height was 120 cubits. He overlaid it in the inside with pure gold. The nave he lined the cypress and covered it with fine gold. They made palms and chains on it. He adorned the house with settings of precious stones. The gold was gold of Proverb. So he lined the house with gold, its beams, its thresholds, its walls, and its doors, and he carved cherubim on the walls. And he made the most holy place its length, corresponding to the breadth of the house was 20 cubits, and the breadth was 20 cubits. And he overlaid it too with 600 talents of fine gold. The weight of gold with the nails was 50 shekels, and he overlaid the upper chambers with gold. In the most holy place he made 2 cherubim of wood, and overlaid them with gold. The leaves of the cherub together extended 20 cubits. One wing of the one of cubits touched the wall of the house, and the other wing of 5 cubits touched the wing of the other cherub, and of this cherub 1 wing of 5 cubits touched the wall of the house, and the other wing. Also 5 cubits was joined to the wing of the first cherub, and the wings of these cherub extended 20 cubits. The cherubim stood on their feet facing the nave, and he made the veil of blue and purple and crimson fabrics of fine linen, and he worked cherubim on it. In front of the house he made 2 pillars 35 cubits high, with a capital of 5 cubits on the top of each. He made chains like a necklace and put them on the tops of the pillars, and he made 100 pomegranates and put them on the chains. He set up the pillars in front of the temple, and one on the south, the other on the north side. On the south he called Jack, and on the north Boaz. He made an altar of bronze, 20 cubits long and 20 cubits wide, and 10 cubits high. And he made the sea of Casper. It was round 10 cubits from brim to brim, and 5 cubits high, and the line is 30 cubits, and its circumference. Under it were the figures of girds, and 10 cubits compassing the sea over. The girds were inch rise, cast with it when it was cast. It was on 12 oxen, 3 facing north, 3 facing west, 3 facing south, and 3 facing east. The sea was sound, and all their ramparts were sand. But its thickness was a handbreadth, and its brim was made like the brim of a cup, like the flower of a lily. He had 3,000 baths. He also made 10 basins in which to wash, and set 5 on the south side and 5 on the north side. And these were hay birds for himself, but it be always used for the burnt offering, and the seals were the priest's wash. And he made 10 golden lampstands, as prescribed, and set them in the temple, 5 on the south side and 5 on the north. He also made 10 tables and placed them in the temple, 5 on the south side and 5 on the north. And he made 100 basins of gold, and he made the court of the priests, and the great court, and the doors of the court, and overlaid their doors with bronze. And he set the sea at the southwest corner of the house. Hiram also made the pots, the shovels, and the basins. So Hiram finished the work that he did for King Solomon on the house of God. The 2 pillars, the bowls, and the 2 capitals were the tops of the pillars, and the total lattice works to cover the 2 bowls of the capitals, and on the tops of the pillars. And then the 400 pomegranates were the 2 lattice works. 2 rows of pomegranates for each lattice works to cover the 2 bowls and the capital were on the pillars. He made stands also, and the basins stairs, and the 1 seat, and the 12 oxen underneath it, the pots, the shovels, the forks, and the equipment for these. Hiram Abbey made a burnished bronze for King Solomon for the house of the Lord. In the plain of the drum the king cast them in the clay ground between Sabbath and Zerada. Solomon made all these things in great quantities, for the weight of the bronze was not sore. So Solomon made all the vessels that were in the house of God, the golden altars, the tables with the bread of the presence, the lampstands and their lamps of pure gold to burn before the inner sanctuary, as prescribed, the fowls, the lamps, and the tongs of purest gold, the stuff of his basins, dishes for incense, and the 5 pans of pure gold, and the sockets of the temple. The inner doors to the most holy place, and the doors to the nave of the temple were of gold. Thus all the work that Solomon did for the house of the Lord was finished. And Solomon brought in the things that David his father had dedicated, and stored the silver, the gold, and all the vessels that in the treasuries of the house of God. And Solomon assembled his elders and all the heads of the tribe The leaders of all houses of the people of Israel in Jerusalem bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is Zion. And all the men of Israel assembled before the king at the feast that is in the 7th month. And all the elders of Israel came, and the Levites took up the ark. And they brought up all the ark of the tent of meeting, and all the holy vessels that were in the tent, the Levitical ark, the tent of meeting, and all the holy vessels that were in the tent. And the Levitical priests brought them up, and King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel who had assembled before him were before the ark, sacrificing so many sheep and oxen that they could not be counted or numbered. And the priests brought the ark of the covenant of the Lord to his place, in the inner sanctuary of the house, in the most holy place, underneath the wings of the tree. The cherubim surrounded their wings over the place of the ark, so that the cherubim made a covering above the ark and its posts, and the posts so long that the ends of the posts were seen from the holy place before the inner sanctuary, and they could not be seen from outside. And they are there to this day. For there was nothing in the ark except the 2 trumpets that measured but their horn. And the Lord made a covenant with the people of Israel when they came out of Egypt. And the priest came out of the holy place, and when the song was raised with some trumpets and cymbals and other musical instruments, and praise to the Lord. But he is good. He lives for his steadfast love and joy forever. The house of the Lord was filled with fire, so that the priest could not stand to minister because of the fire. And the glory of the Lord filled the house of God. And Solomon said, the Lord said you would dwell in thick darkness. I built you an exalted house, a place for you to dwell forever. And the king turned around and blessed all the assembly of Israel, while all the assembly of Israel stood, and said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, who with his hands fulfilled what he promised with his mouth to David my father, saying, Since the day that I brought my people out of the land of Egypt, and I chose no city out of all the tribes of Israel, which should build a house, that my name might be there, and I chose no man of prince over my people Israel. And I have chosen Jerusalem, that my name may be there, and I have chosen David to be over my people Israel. Now it was in the heart of David my father to build a house and put in the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. But the Lord said to David my father, Whereas it was in your heart to build a house for my name, you did well in that it was in your heart. Nevertheless, it is not you who shall build the house, but your son who shall be born to you shall build the house for my name. And the Lord has fulfilled the promise that he made. For I have risen in the place of David my father, and sit on the throne of Israel. As the Lord promised, and I have built the house of the Lord, the God of Israel. And there I have set the ark, in which is the covenant of the Lord that he made with the people of Israel. And Solomon stood before the altar of the Lord in the presence of all the assembly of Israel, and spread out his hands. Solomon had made a bronze platform 5 cubits long, 5 cubits wide, and 3 cubits high, and set it in the court, and he stood on it. And he set it up now on his knees in the presence of all the assembly of Israel, and spread out his hands toward heaven. And he said, O Lord God of Israel, there is no God like you, or in heaven or on earth. Keep your covenant and show yourself as loud to your servant. They walk before you with all their heart. They have kept with your servant David my father what you declared to him. You spoke with your mouth, and with your hand have fulfilled it this day. Now therefore, O Lord God of Israel, shall not keep for your servant David my father what you promised him, saying, You shall not lack a man to sit before me on the throne of Israel. If only your sons pay close attention to their way, but walk in my laws as you have walked before me. Now therefore, O Lord God of Israel, let your word be confirmed, which you have spoken to your servant David. That will God indeed dwell with men on the earth. Behold, heaven and the highest heaven cannot contain you. Now look as this house that I have built. Yet have regard to the prayer of your son and to his plea. O Lord my God, listen to the cry and to the prayer that your servant prays before you. That your eyes may be open day and night toward this house, the place that you promised to set your name, and that you may listen to the prayer that your servant offers toward this place, and listen to the pleas of your servant and your people Israel, that they pray toward this place, and then listen from heaven your dwelling place, and when you hear, forgive. If man sins against his neighbor and is made to take an oath, and comes and swears to dead before your altar in his house, and he for her and act and judge his servants, repaying the guilty by bringing his conduct on his own head, and vindicating the righteous by rewarding him according to his righteousness. If you who are people Israel are defeated before their enemy because they have sinned against you, and they turn again and acknowledge your name and pray and plead with you in this house, and he remember and forgive the sin of your people Israel, and bring them again to the land that you gave to them and to their fathers. And then heaven is shut up, and there is no rain because they sinned from you, and they pray toward this place and acknowledge your name and turn from their sin when you afflict them. And hear in heaven and forgive the sin of your people Israel, when you teach them the good way in which they should walk. Great rain upon their land. your land, which you have given to your people as an inheritance. If there is famine of land, if there are pestilence or plague, or mildew, or locust, or caterpillar, if the enemies besiege him in the land at their gates, whatever plague, whatever sickness there is, whatever prayer, whatever plea is made by any man, or by all your people Israel, each time his own affliction and his own sorrow, and stretching out his hands toward this house, and he from heaven your dwelling place, and forgiven by nature each heart you know, according to his ways, for you only know the hearts of Israel, not mankind, that they may fear you and walk in your ways all the days that they live in the land that you gave to our fathers. Likewise, when a foreigner who is not of your people Israel comes from a far country for the sake of your greatness, and your almighty hand and your house is strong, when he comes and prays toward this house, hear from heaven your dwelling place, and do according to all for which the foreigner calls you, and all that all the peoples of the earth may know your name is free. As to your people Israel, and that they may know that this house that I built is called by your name. If your people go out to battle against their enemies, or whatever way you shall send them, and they pray to you toward the city that you have chosen and the house that I built for you, and hear their prayer and their plea, and maintain their course. If they sin against you, for there is no one who does not sin, then you are angry with them, and you give them to an enemy, so that they are carried away captives till they fall on you. Yet if they turn their heart in the land to which they are being carried captive, and repent and plead with you in the land of their captivity, say, you sin and have acted perversely and wickedly. If they repent with all their heart, with all their soul in the land of their captivity, to which they are carried captive, and pray toward their land, which you gave to their fathers to see that you have chosen in the house that I built for you, and he from heaven your dwelling place their prayer in the place, and maintain their course and forgive your people who sinned against you. Now, my God, let your eyes be open, your ears attentive to the prayer of this place. And now arise, O Lord God, and go to your resting place, you and the ark of your mind. Let your priest, O Lord God, be clothed with salvation, and let your saints rejoice in your goodness. O Lord God, do not turn away the face of your anointed one. Remember your steadfast love for David your servant. Proverbs 29. He is often reproved, yet stiff as his neck will suddenly be broken with young healing. When the righteous increase, the people will rejoice, but when the wicked rule, the people grow. The he who loves wisdom makes his father glad, but the companion of prostitutes scorns his blood. By justice the king builds up the land, but he exacts gifts to his death. And then who flatters his neighbor swears the net for his feet. An evil man is ensnared in transgression, but a righteous man sings and rejoices. A righteous man knows the rights of the poor, and a wicked man does not understand such knowledge. Scoffers set a city aflame, but the wise turn away wrath. If a wise man has argument with a fool only rages and laughs, and there is no quiet. Bloodthirsty men hate one who is blameless and seek the life of the upright. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. If a ruler listens to falsehood, orders of official will be wicked. A poor man and the oppressor meet together, and the Lord gives light to the eyes of both. And the king, if the king faithfully judges the poor, his throne will be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mouth. And the wicked increase transgression increases, but the righteous will look upon their downfall. Discipline your son, he will give you rest, he will give delight to your heart. There is no profit at a division, the people cast off restraint, but blessed is he who keeps the law. By him wise the servant is not too slow, but though he understands, he will not respond. Do you see a man who is hasty words, who there is more hurt for a fool than for him? Whoever pampers his servant from childhood, it will in the end find him his hair. A man of wrath stirs strife, and one given to anger causes much transgression. One's pride will bring him life, but he who is lowly in spirit will obtain honor. If I know a thief hates his own life, he hears the curse, but discloses nothing. The fear of man lays his snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe. Many seek the face of the ruler, but it is from the Lord that a man gets justice. An unjust man is an abomination to the righteous, but one whose way is straight is an abomination to the wicked. Psalm 3. O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying of my soul, there is no salvation for him in God. But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my God, and the lift of my head. My glory and the lift of my head. I cried aloud to the Lord, and he answered me from his holy hill. I lay down and slept. I awoke again, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of many thousands of people who have set themselves against me all over. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God. Will you say, strike all my enemies on the cheek? You break the cheek of the wicked. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing be on your people. Now thus done, I should have to the Lord's prayer. Lead your heads, O Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.